Hey, my friends, welcome back to Lakeside Quilt Making Arts. We're going to be coloring the next blockhead. This is, which one is this? This is Morning Star. We're talking blockheads 5 group 2, and we have all of these done. I did not do, I think it's 3 through 7 or 4 through 8, something like that, that I've skipped. I had to skip them to get caught up with everybody. And I still stay a few days behind everyone else. And I'm using a combination, if this is your first time here, I'm using a combination of Camille Roskelly's Shoreline fabric, which I love and adore, and an assortment of men's thrifted shirts. They're thrifted from Unclaimed Baggage out in Scottsboro, Alabama. It's not quite thrift store pricing. There's also a couple or 2 or 3 in here that my mother did get from an actual thrift store. I got some beautiful fabrics from some of these men's shirts. They're just quite nice. So I'm in love with how everything is blending. It's all gorgeous. But my objective with this quilt, because it's going to be given to a friend who loves everything to do with the water, the lake, and she loves blues and greens. So I committed from the beginning that this quilt is going to her, and it's a sea glass colorway. So with that being in mind, I've incorporated some pinks with my blues and some taupes and a little bit of green. Well, I need to punch it up and do some more green too. What I had originally was this one here, which is a blue-green, so really light blue-green, but it's definitely on the blue side of green. It came from a man's shirt. So that was already in my blocks before I got the Shoreline fabric. So now their greens, her greens, are yellow-green. And so I got to figure out how to blend those. So I think the best way to do that is to put the blue-green and the yellow-green in one block. And that's what I'm going to try to do with this one. I think there's enough bits and pieces and parts in that I can play around with my 2 different shades of blue, my blues on the different spectrum, the blue and the yellow, and also include my background fabric so I can make it cohesive with the other quilts, and maybe throw a little pink in there too. So you'd have your red and green, so you have your pink and your greens, and you have your greens on both ends of the spectrum, blue and yellow. And then let's see if I can point to it. Keep a stick here, so I can touch this now. This, I don't know how well you can see that. I'll put it on screen. This one and this one have been used as background fabrics. These 2 are background fabrics. This one over here is from men's shirts, and this one is from the Shoreline fabric. And I love them. And that's the reason I fell in love with the Shoreline when I first saw it. I thought that reminds me of this shirt. And I love this and what it was doing in the quilt. It was giving me a busy background that is not too busy. It's a good scale. It's not overly dense, but it's just the right density, I think. I think I kind of like hers better at times, but sometimes I like this one better. I don't know. But I'm going to continue to use both so that there's a scrappy factor to this quilt. I'm just loving this. I'm head over heels in hog heaven, as they say. I don't know, does everybody say that, or is that just a Southern thing? I don't even know what hog heaven is. I think hog heaven refers to like a pigsty. That's not cool. Maybe I don't want to use that expression. There's a lot of expressions that we just don't even know what they mean, but we use them. I should probably pay attention, especially now that I got lots of people listening. Oh, my friends, are those just not beautiful? They are. They're gorgeous. But now it's time to figure out how to put a green star in there. A green morning star. This one, by the way, is by Barbara Groves of Me and My Sister Designs. Okay, I've been giving this a little bit of thought, and like I said, we're going to be kind of interjecting green. So we're going with a 6-inch block with all these pieces. I may hate myself, but I feel like I'm up to the task right now anyway. So that's what we're going to do. Am I 100% confident that this is going to work? There are 2 answers to that question. I believe it will work. How well it will work, if it's going to be a show-stopping block, I don't know. But the bigger question to me is it going to blend well enough that it is going to address the question at hand, and that is interjecting our yellow greens with our blue greens, with our pink being involved in this scenario as well. I think interjecting the pink is good, but but let me first explain where everything's going. So this is for the center square, and then this is for the points of the stars. And my thought is that this is more dense, this one is more dense, and then as the star gets further away, you would see more brightness, right? Although I like this design better, and I think it would work to be probably more appealing. If this square was bigger, if we were doing the 12-inch block, I might rationalize switching these, just because this is a more interesting pattern. But I don't think it's going to matter. But this is going to be, what is that? That's H. H is a 2.5-inch square. I don't think it's going to matter that much. And this is, what are these? These are G's, I start with a 2 1/8 square, and then it gets smaller from there. I think I'm okay. So we've got dense in the middle, less dense and brighter for the points. And then I'm doing pink here for this cat face, which I know is not a cat face, but that's what I'm calling it. And then green, this blue green here, this striped blue green. Oh, now that I'm thinking about the fact that it's striped, I may not want to put it there because it's going to look weird unless I were to put it on the diagonal on the bias. Boy, what a challenge that would be. Yeah, so I'm a little nervous about that going here now that I'm saying it out loud. So I may give some more thought to that. So this, though, is going to be our background fabric in these spots. So between the cat ears and in these corner squares. And these corner squares are just 2 inches. So we're not using a lot of this fabric. And then this each starts with a 3.5-inch square, and then it gets smaller from there, right? Okay. So we need to contemplate if we really want to use that blue-green in that location. And if I don't, where else would I want to put it? I could put it here and then put my pink here, but I don't like that combination. I like this touching this, this touching this, and this touching this with this as the background. Could we go with this? Sure. We could. And we don't have to use the pink. There could be something else. Let me look through the shirts real quick. So the other thing that we could do, instead of that green, but to interject some blue green, is to do this. Oh, I like that a lot. So this is still our background. These are, let me backtrack on that. That would go against that. This would go against the pink. And then these two would be against each other, which I like just fine. Unless I wanted to reverse it in this one. Like use this as the background. In other words, this goes here and this goes here. This interjects a blue green, even though it's teal and it's not as green as this. I think I might like that better, but it gets our blues and our greens working together at least. Then the question is, do we want that or that? I think we want that. Like this is still our background, and even though this has been our background in some of the quilt blocks, I like it better for here just because it's more dense. It brings a little bit of a higher value because it's more dense. Scale is playing a role there too. Okay, all right. I think I'm good with that. I think I need to write it down, and while I'm on camera, and then I'm going to head to Huntsville. And that's probably, I'll mention that That may be mentioned in a different video. If so, I'm going to put it on screen. Okay, A was what? Here. A is our shoreline background. Okay, I'm going to put floral just to make sure I don't get confused. B and C are from our men's floral background. D, what did I say that was going to be? Oh, that's our same as A. So that's our shoreline. Background floral. Okay, E and F is our pink. So we've got 2 men's shirts and 3 from Shoreline. G is green, Shoreline, green, vine lattice. Okay, and then H is shoreline, green, small scale floral. Look at that, my friends. We just made a decision.